Alright guys, today I'm going to change my washing machine hose for the hot water. As you can see here, I think there is some leaking going on for a while, and you can see the rust. Water comes out of this hot water hose, which is red, and you can see the rust, and the water probably drips down all the way down here to the metal plate. All the way down here. So over the weeks or months, and you can see this whole area is rusted. And if you look at the cold water hose, which is the blue one, it's totally fine. I don't really see any rust. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the hose. Perhaps I will just do both because I bought a pair. And so what you need to do first is you need to turn off the faucet here for both. It's a good idea to get a bucket just in case you have water comes out. So I'm going to put my bucket down here, especially for this hot water, the red one. So now what you need to do next is you're going to detach this hose and this one if I'm going to replace both. Now here what I was told is, if you look closely here, this is the hose is hooked up to this faucet here. Let me see if I can show you here. This outer ring with teeth, this is where if you want to use a pair of pliers, you want to try to turn this part. Do not work on the inner ring. If you do that, that will clamp this tight onto the faucet, which is something that you don't want to do it. Okay, so now like this, if you want to do it, remember again, you need to work on this outer ring with teeth, not putting pliers on the inner ring. So how do I tell that I've turned off the water? Now, I don't know how well you can read here because I have some water built up here over the years, but if you can see this off facing you, that means the water hose at this moment, or the faucet rather, is at off position. Same thing for the blue one, which is harder to read here, but essentially it's the same. It says PS off, and then same thing here, off. So this is how you tell whether the water is off or on. So make sure that you can see, like, the off position is facing you, then it's safe to disconnect. I hope you can see this. Now it is on the off position. Now if I detach the hose right now, it's going to be fine. Like so. Alright, so it's off this side, and just in case, I'm going to put this into the bucket. Alright, now let's work on the cold water side, and you can see it's also on the off position. All right, so let's put on the outer ring. It's very hard to work on. The tight space here. I'm gonna try to get to this side. It's turning. All right, it comes off. And then let's put it in to the bucket. All right, so now with both cold and hot water hoses come off, now I can put on, well, I have to detach the other side. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so same thing on this side. We can take off these two. Because it's crowded, so it's harder to take it off, but you know, just be patient and use your plier and twist it again on the outer ring, and eventually it will come off. Okay, so now it comes off, and as you can see, it's kind of dirty here because of the corrosion and rust, and so it's a good idea to use a rag or paper towel to clean it off before you put on the new hose. So now that I clean up both, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put on this new set that I just purchased. It's a new kit that I got from Amazon. These are the stainless ones, and people say they're more durable, so I'm going to put on these. You also want to clean up here as well, because here the same thing, especially if you look at for the cold water one here, also a lot of dust and build up over the years. So you want to clean up both before you hook up the new ones. Okay, so these are the new ones. As you can see, you can tell which one is for hot, which one is for cold by color. The red one is hot water. The blue one is for cold, and you can see for each one here I have two washers. So you want to put in these two washers, the connecting part here, and for this, and then for this side as well. When you tighten up your new hose, you want to use your hand first, and then later you can use your plier, but you don't want to over tighten it because it may break the thread, and then especially this one is made of plastic, it may even break the plastic. Alright, I've already hand tightened it, and then now I'm going to give it a few turns. using my plier. And how do I know it's tight enough? Well, we need to test it, make sure there's no leaking once you connect the both. So now I think I'm done with the cold water. I'm going to work on the hose for the hot water, and once I'm done with that, I'm going to give it a test and see if there's any leaking. All right, so I've tightened up both the hose for the hot and cold water on both sides, here and then here. Now it's time to give it a test and see if it's leaking. So let's turn the water on and see if there's any leaking here. And looks like the hot water is fine. There's no water comes out. And same thing for the cold one. But a good idea is to really to give it a test and then have a load. If you happen to have some clothes you have to wash. All right, guys, let's give it a test and see if it works properly and if there's no leaking. Let's see. All right, let's take a closer look here. I don't see any leaking here, and no cold water comes out. Same thing on this side, connecting to the washer. So as long as you don't see any leaking here at this point, that should be fine. Now the last thing you need to do if you're in a situation like mine, you have rust here on the back plate. What you need to do later is you're gonna have to get some sandpaper and sand it down. So once you sand it down, and some people recommend you can put a layer of primer on it. But in my case, I think it's fine as long as there's no leaking further, because this is just a metal piece without paint in the first place. I hope this helps, guys.